with half a riot squad's arsenal. I didn't, and even for vampires, traffic stops are still a possibility. And that is it. Crystal slammed the door closed, causing me to jump as I waited to hear the guns go off, despite her assurances that they were all unloaded. She chuckled, but didn't call me out on being startled, likely because I was in the middle of doing her a favor. Bubba and Amy should be about done with their load by now, so once we get the dangerous stuff inside, we can break for night lunch. Much as I wished she'd think of a new term for our customary meal around midnight, being my equivalent of a midday point, I was never going to object to enjoying Charlotte's cooking. While it's true that I primarily need blood to survive, I can still dine on human food. My body gains no nutrients from it, but that's never really the best part of eating a fine meal anyway, is it? I just have to swing by my place real quick to fire off an email, I told her. Promised to have some acquisition forms sent out before morning. Can't Albert do that? Crystal asked. You already dragged Albert and Neil into helping you move, I reminded her. They took the first couple of boxes, and anyway, there's a bit of prep work to do, which puts it out of Albert's depth. Great assistant or not, some tasks require my personal touch. Crystal leered at me for a few seconds, her way of letting me know I was on thin ice, before finally relenting with a sigh. I'll let it slide this time, but don't take too long. These boxes aren't going to unpack themselves. I promised to be as quick as possible, I assured her. I'd prefer you promise to hire some more help, Crystal shot back. Even vampires need rest, you know. She had me there. When I first got my CPPA license and began courting parahuman clients, I'd been fearful there wouldn't be enough business to sustain the investment. What I discovered was that this was a hole in the market that desperately required filling, and over the past few months, it had been all I could do to keep up with the influx of new clients. Fletcher Accounting Services needed to expand, which was far easier said than done. Parahumans might be in ample supply, but precious few of them wanted to make their living as accountants. It would be nice, I agreed. My original plan was to get Albert trained up as he grew more familiar with the practice and then pay for him to obtain the necessary accounting degrees, but with the sword training, that's just not viable. Several months prior, Albert had pulled the blade of the unlikely champion from its sheath. Technically, that didn't come with any built-in responsibilities. However, everyone had agreed it was best he get comfortable using it, just in case, which, in fact, was why Arch had moved to Winslow and needed somewhere to stay in the first place. Despite seeming human, Arch was quite old and renowned for his abilities as a trainer, among other things. I'll keep an ear to the ground just in case I come across any good candidates. Crystal pulled open the door to her truck, then paused to lean in and give me a short but forceful kiss. Don't take too long with your work, or I'll let them start night lunch without you. Only a few minutes at most. She let it be, getting into her truck and heading off before I'd so much as gotten my own car's door unlocked. The truth of the matter was that I knew exactly how long the work would take, and it would be seconds at most. I'd purposely left it undone specifically so I'd have an excuse to split up from her when the last load was packed. I'm not a terrible liar, but Crystal is an agent for a reason, and telling the truth made it far less likely that the real reason I was going back to my apartment would be uncovered. After all, it wouldn't be much of a surprise housewarming party without the surprise part. Or a cake, specially ordered from a bakery back in Crystal's in my hometown of Kent. It was a favorite of both of ours, and a nice way to ring in the new with the old. But I needed to hurry. The plan was for everyone to distract her with unpacking while I picked up the cake and brought it to Charlotte Manor. Turning on my engine, I started to floor it, then remembered my car was full.